Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make a white chocolate mud cake recipe and how to decorate a small ombre cake. I'm using some canola spray to line the inside of my 5-inch cake tins, and I've used 3 of these tins. They're 3 inches high. Line the bottom with some parchment paper or some non-stick baking paper, line the sides as well, and make sure that the baking paper sits below the line of your tin. Then combine your water, your butter and your white chocolate in a saucepan over medium heat and continue to stir until it's all melted and combined. I'll have the recipe for all this in the description box below. Then turn off the heat when it's all melted, and I like to gradually add in my custard sugar into the wet mixture. Just helps it to cool down a bit quicker. And it also breaks down the sugar a lot better as well. Then mix it through until it's all nice and combined. And then once it's reached almost room temperature, that's when you can start adding in your eggs. You don't want to add it in while it's warm, otherwise you'll end up scrambling your eggs and that's no good. Then I'm using a whisk just to whisk in my dry ingredients, so my 2 flours and my salt. Make a bit of a well in the center and pour in your wet ingredients. I've started off combining all the ingredients together with my whisk, and then I switched to a wooden spoon just to stir it all through. Then I divided the batter into 3 different plates, added a bit of red gel food colour, and I had a lot more batter left over, so this batter actually makes 2 8-inch cakes, but more on that later. And once you have 3 different colours, 2 of them look too similar, so I decided on using a white as a 4th colour. Fill in your 5-inch cake tins about 1/3 of the way, cover them in aluminium foil nice and tight. That makes sure that it rises a little bit more evenly and it cooks evenly as well. And then bake those at 180 degrees, mine took about 40 minutes. Here I'm making some white chocolate ganache, so I have some white chocolate buttons and some regular whipping cream. Combining that and then melting it down in a microwave in 30-second bursts. And I'll have the recipe for that in the description box, along with this hybrid buttercream / white chocolate ganache filling. So I've creamed my butter until it's nice and soft, gradually adding in my icing sugar, a dash of milk, or I like to do 3 tablespoons or so. Beat it on medium to high speed for about 3 minutes, and then add in your vanilla extract. Combine that in, and then lucky last we'll add in our chocolate ganache that we just made, and that's been in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes till it's nice and set. Combine that on low speed, and you now have a chocolate ganache buttercream hybrid. Good fun. That's what the cakes look like after about 40 minutes. And then to level the cakes, I've used my giant knife / sword here, lining the outside to make sure I have a nice straight guide, and then just sawing my knife through the cake and rotating with my turntable at the same time to get a nice even cake layer. Then I've stacked them all on top of each other, and I've started sawing down the sides so we can reveal that beautiful ombre colour. You could use just a regular serrated knife for this as well. Just like this one, and then I go up and down, kind of just scraping off those hard edges just to round off my cake again. Then using a round piping tip, I'm just piping my frosting along the outside, making sure to kind of have some hanging off the side of the cake as well. That's important for afterwards when we trim down the frosting. And do the exact same for all your layers. Pop that into the freezer for about 10 minutes, just until the icing sets, and then take your knife and run it along the side, trimming it down to the very edge of the cake. Smooth it off, and I made a little bit more chocolate ganache here, added in some red gel food colour, just a drop or so. If you want, you can add in a little bit of oil if you're worried that it might seize. Pour it over the cake, and using a spatula, push it out to the sides. And here I'm creating artificial drips. I've got a piping bag that I've fitted with that ganache and just piping it over the sides. And then decorate how you like. Here I've used a gigantic lollipop, some Maltesers, and a Mars bar that I cut in half diagonally. Add on a couple of little edible beads. and you're done. That's how you make a white chocolate mud cake decorated as a naked ombre. Very fun, very easy to do, and I think this is like the neat version where you don't have all that buttercream kind of spread up against the cake. I kind of really like this style. Finally, the white chocolate mud cake recipe. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this one. It's a very, very delicious recipe. I think maybe even better so than the bagels that I'm using. Just for video purposes, I use a premix by Bakehouse, but scratch is just as nice. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial, and I will catch you next Tuesday. If you like the little topper, I do sell that on my website, rosiedessertspot.com.